Good morning, students. How are you, everyone? Today we discuss Class 7 Physical Science Motion. In earlier classes, we have discussed about types of the motions, speed, units of the speed, and the numericals based on speed. Today we take a quick revision of these topics. We continue now. Now, Class 7 Physical Science, Motion and Time. In this, we revise about what is meaning of motion, types of the motion, types of the speed and units of the speed, measuring of time, time measuring devices or clocks, periodic motion of a simple pendulum, units of time and speed, measure of distance speed and distance time graph. In our universe, any object, either it is in motion or is rest. How we decide an object is in motion or rest? If an object travels some distance, then it changes its position with respect to time, then it is said to be motion. If an object does not change its position with respect to time, then we say that it is in rest position. Here there are three types of the motions are there: linear or straight motion, circular, curvilinear motion. What is meaning of linear motion? In the first example, a person runs in a straight road, then it is called as linear motion or straight line motion. In the second example, an object travels in a circular path, then it is called as circular motion. In the third one, an object travels in a curved path, then it is said to be curvilinear path. Linear, circular, curvilinear path. Then these are called as types of the motions. Next, an object travels slowly or fastly. How we decide? If an object covers a particular distance in less time, then we say that it moves fastly. Suppose an same object travels the same distance by taking the more time, then we say that that object travels slowly. Means the speed of an object depends upon their distance and time. The next one is how we calculate speed of an object. The speed is equal to distance by time. Means the distance traveled by an object in unit time is called as its speed. The formulas are speed is equal to distance by time. In the right hand side, the time goes to the left hand side, then become distance is equal to speed into time and time is equal to distance by speed. And how we calculate the average speed? The average speed means the total distance covered by an object by the total time taken. And what are the units of the speed? The speed can be measured by the units kilometer per hour because distance units are kilometer and the time units are hours. And also we measure by the units of meter per second. These are the units of the speed. These three formulas are very useful for the doing numericals. Speed is equal to distance by time, distance is equal to speed into time, and time is equal to distance by speed. Now here we discuss about two more motions are there: uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Here let us see the uniform motion. An person travels in a straight road on a bike. Here let we observe for every 1 second and 1 second, it travels 5 meter distance for every 1 second. That means covers the equal distances in equal intervals of time. As a result, let me calculate the speed. The speed is equal to distance by time. For every time we get here 5 meter per second, 5 meter per second, 5 meter per second. That means an object travels in a straight line and covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. Then such type of the motion is called as uniform motion. In this uniform motion, the speed remains constant. Now, next we discuss about non-uniform motion. In this module, we observe here a person travels in a straight road on a bike. He covers unequal distances. The first distance is 10, 8, 4 for every 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. That means he covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time. Means the speed is not constant. Because the distance size varies, automatically the speed varies. Such type of the motion is called as non-uniform motion. When an object covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time, then it is said to be non-uniform motion. In the first uniform motion, it covers equal distances 5 meters for every 1 second. But here, for every 2 seconds, he first covers distance 10 meters and another 8 meters, then next 4 meters. Different distances are covers because the speed is not constant in this non-uniform motion. Now, average speed. Average speed means the total distance travelled by an object divided by the total time taken by an object is called as its average speed. We know that the time can be measured in a year by taking a complete revolution of the earth around the sun. Whereas the month, the time between the two new moons, we calculate the time. Whereas in the day and night, the time between sunrise and the sunset. And the morning is the rising of the sun. And also so many devices are there for measuring times. They are sundial, sanddial, pendulum clock, water clock and quartz clock. So we discuss one by one. Sundial clock. The first diagram indicates that sundial. It uses the position of the sun to determine the time. Whereas by using sand in the sundial, we measure the time. And the next one is pendulum clock. It uses a pendulum to measure a time. In the fourth diagram, we use a water for the measuring of the time in the water clock. In the last one is quartz clock. They have an electric circuit that works with the help of the cells. They provided an accurate time for measuring. There are 5 types of the devices are there. In previous days, we use sundial, sand clocks. After that, we measure pendulum clocks. Nowadays, we use quartz clocks. Now, periodic motion of a simple pendulum. How the simple pendulum is consist? The simple pendulum is consist of a metallic bob is there and it is suspended from a rigid support by using a long thread. This is called bob and it is supported from a rigid support by using a long thread. Now it starts oscillations like this. It oscillates from A to B and it come back to the B to C. Like that its oscillations are started. The oscillations from their extreme positions along through the mean position is called as periodic motion. Now here A is called center position or mean position. B and C are called as extreme positions or to or fro. B is called as to position and another C is called as fro position. What is meaning of periodic motion? Again I repeat, periodic motion means an object travels from one end to another end along with its mean position. Such type of oscillations are called as periodic motion. Now, what is meaning of one oscillation? How we calculate one oscillation? One oscillation means, suppose I started a oscillation from A, then it moves from A to B and it come back to the B to C and C to A. Then it is called as one oscillation. One oscillation means it starts from A to B, B to C and C to A. Then it is called as one oscillation. One oscillation is also calculated from their extreme position. Suppose it starts from the extreme position of B, then it goes to the C and come back to the B position. Then it is also called as one oscillation, like that. One oscillation. Just like a V shape, B to C and C to B is called one oscillation. The time taken for one oscillation is called as time period. Let me discuss here. A simple pendulum contains a bob. It is a metallic ball or a stone which is suspended from a rigid stand with the help of a thread. What is meaning of oscillatory motion? Oscillatory motion means the bob of a pendulum is moves from one end to another end. That means extreme positions along its mean position is called as oscillatory motion or periodic motion. What is meaning of one oscillation? One oscillation means, suppose I start from A, it starts A to B and B to C, come back to A, then it is called one oscillation, like this, A to B, B to C, C to A, one oscillation. Or suppose I take oscillation from B, it starts from B to C, C to B, along with its mean position, it is also called as one oscillation. When bob moves from its center to its extreme ends is said to be one oscillation. What is meaning of time period of a pendulum? The time taken by the pendulum for the completion of one oscillation is called its time period. It is denoted by letter T. Now we convert the speed units from kilometer per hour to meter per second. We know that speed formula is distance by time. Distance is measured by the units kilometer or meter and the time is measured by the units hour or minutes. Now in this I want to calculate 1 kilometer to 1 meter per hour. We know that 1 kilometer means 1000 meters and 1 hour means 60 minutes. Now 60 minutes get converted into 60 seconds, then it becomes 1000 meters per 3600 seconds. Then we get 1 by 3.6. Now we conclude this topic here. Kilometer per hour get converted into meter per second by divided by 3.6. Suppose we want to convert a meter per second to kilometer per hour by multiplying with by 3.6. These are all useful in numericals. Thank you.